Well, hello, Bold Strokes. I am live to you this morning, this Thursday, and I thought that it would be kind of fun. I'm learning how to use the Facebook Live, so I hope everyone can see my um, everything here. And I need to work on some more acrylic videos, so I thought I'll do it live, and that way, if any of you are watching that are on my Patreon channel, where I'll upload these videos later, you can tune in. I'm just gonna do a simple acrylic sunflower. I'll post this to Bold Strokes after, and I found this on Pixabay, and there's 4 different sunflower setups, so you can kind of see, pick one that you want to do, and just practice. Sunflowers are my favorite flower, so I thought I would do a little demo on this. So out here I've got my Masterson Stay Wet palette, and I've got just a little gesso board here, and I've got out all my regular colors, except I have some cad yellow medium here. And these colors I normally don't use in oil because I don't think they make a hooker's green, but there's hooker's green, there's phthalo turquoise, dioxazine violet, this is some quinacridone red, brown oxide, red oxide, this is viridian, cad red light, orange, cad red light, this is cad yellow light, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, and this is some gray, and Indian yellow, cobalt, and then this is some really fun color. It's just like a bright turquoise color that I think it's Gamblin makes, and then just some plain white. And I got out my little spray bottle, so if you're new to painting with acrylic, you want to, even though you use the Stay Wet palette, I give my paints a little spritz here and there. So for this painting, I think I'll just do, I could do just one sunflower, just so you get the idea, and different ways you can go about it. Sometimes I want to do a colorful background, and sometimes I'll use this gray to start off with, and then I'll do colors. Today I'll show you kind of like a wash that I like to use of dioxazine violet, and I'll use a little bit of that red oxide. Now this is a little tiny palette, but when I'm using this, sometimes I have this like peel off palette here, and this one I'll add some water, just the way I would use turp, but I'll add water when I'm mixing the color, and you can just add some dioxazine and a little bit of that red oxide there. So I'm just gonna put some of that on there. And like I say, this is sort of like a practice run for me, because I haven't really done many of these. So I'm just getting a little layer of this dioxazine and some of this red oxide. Gives it a really nice warm color. And then I'm just going to wipe this off. Like that. And you can add a few different colors to your background. It just kind of makes it fun. So I'll just get out my little mixing, and I'll add some of that phthalo turquoise. I'll kind of put it around. I won't put it right in the middle where I know the sunflower is going to go. So I'll just put a little bit of that around here. and some Viridian green. And I'm just kind of wipe that off. Now you can let it dry and then come back to it. That way the water won't pull off the paint below. Okay. So I might go back and get a little more of that dioxazine violet and get. So yeah, I would tend to want to let that first layer dry a bit, but because I'm doing the live stream, it sort of don't have as much time to wait. So you just want to get a nice layer like that on there. Okay, now I'll just get a little bit smaller brush. This is a number 6 flat, and I'll just kind of draw out my sunflower, and you can use whatever color you want. With acrylic, it dries so quick that you don't have to worry about it smudging, so you can, you know, something darker I tend to use. So I'll use a little bit of this purple, some of this blue, and I'm gonna pick out one of my references and use that. So I think we'll use the one that's kind of turning to the side. So I'm just gonna block in the center, and then just kind of drawing out where it's gonna kind of go. And I leave some room here for a bit of a green leaf. And then I'm gonna I'll get some of this transparent red oxide and a little bit of that cadmium yellow that I've got, and put some of that in there just to block in. And just gonna block in some of that yellow. And I'm just looking at the basic shape of the sunflower and using more of a darker, warmer yellow by adding that transparent red oxide in there. That's going to give you a good base to put those brighter highlights on with your paint later. And once you kind of get the area you want blocked in, you can add just some more yellow on top of those strokes like that. Now you can see, you're kind of building up some of that color. Might even add a little more of that red oxide in there just to really warm up that. And when you make your brush strokes for a sunflower, I start in the center and then I pull up and just kind of lift off. And then just that. So let me just see if I can see what's happening. Okay. Alright, well that's cool. I can see on my phone how it's viewed, and I can see the whole canvas, so I'll get better at doing these live streams. It's so new to me, all this technology, and it's just kind of fun. If I'm gonna record a video for my students, at least then, you know, if you're a member of the Bold Strokes, you can kind of see some of these, and I think watching live is sort of fun. So I'm just adding a little more paint there, and I'm gonna dab some of that water off there that I got a little carried away. I forget when I switch to using gesso boards, these little ampersand gesso boards, you have to be careful because they don't absorb a lot of water. If you're using a canvas, the canvas absorbs a lot. So okay, so now I'm gonna get some of that brown, transparent brown oxide, and I'm just gonna fill in some of that darker area. Really, you know, this is a real simplified sunflower. I'm gonna leave some of that purple in the middle shining through. Just kind of lightly add that in there, and as I go around, I'll sort of soften the edges using the side of my brush, and just kind of work that in there, and leave a bit of that purple there, here and there, because it just looks kind of interesting. And okay, so now, you know, there's the basics of that sunflower, but I'm going to put in a few leaves. So I've got some Viridian, and I'm going to use a little Viridian and some of this Cad Yellow medium, and I'll put in a few green leaves. And you don't follow the reference photo too carefully for this. You can dull that green a little by adding some of your brown oxide, or even orange, you know, will really bring it down to more of a, just a less vibrant green. So I'll put a leaf or two in there. And I've got this, it's called Hooker's Green, and I can put a few darker. I like how Hooker's Green blends with these other colors, so that's why I use it. It's just a little more of a stronger green than the sap, and you know, they don't make this color for oil paint, so I would use in oil paint, you know, some sap green, but in acrylic I kind of like the way you get it a little darker quicker with that color. So I'm using my imagination here because the you know, the photo, the leaves are more, they're just smaller and kind of spread out more, but I kind of want to use the green to fill in that area. So I'm just sort of imagining it being more in a bouquet setting. And so now you can see that background gives it a really nice, almost watercolor effect. So you might want to add a little more yellow to that mix and some white, and then you'll get kind of a lighter color that you can, you know, put a little bit of a detail on here and there. just a little bit more color there, just to add some variety. Now, I've let this yellow sit for a little while, so I've got my mucky yellow paintbrush. I'm gonna go get some of that cad yellow light, and I'm not adding water. You'll notice I've got enough. I want the paint to be nice and thick, so I'm gonna go and put my brush on the top there of one of those petals and just add a few really nice highlights to the sunflower. So I'm putting my brush down and I push down and then kind of lift off and drag it into the center. And same with here, I'll do the same. And just add some nice highlights to those. And a few here, and then there's some little, you know, short ones because the sunflower's facing that way, so I'm gonna go and put a few of those details in. And you can add the odd smaller little detail. It just kind of makes it look more fun and realistic. Gives it more of an airy feeling if they're not all just big strokes. And you might just take that yellow, put it back in with some green, and add a bit of that to your green leaves, just a little bit of yellowy, more of a yellow green here and there. Kind of connects the two a little. And now it's like you can decide what you want to do. I really like this. This background has this really nice kind of wash look to it. But let's say you say, oh, I don't like how that worked out. You can go back and make sure your brush is really clean. And I really like, you know, taking, for these sunflower paintings look good with some turquoise. So you could take a little turquoise and use, this looks dirty, but this is all dry now. And take some cobalt and some white. And I've also got this really pretty color. It comes right out of the tube looking like this light turquoise color. But you can take some cobalt and some white like that. And okay, and then you can get, I just use a little water, but you know, you could use some clear liquid medium. But you know, I like this background a lot, but just to show you how you can leave some of it showing up through it, but just you can add a few nice colors like this. Turquoise really, you know, goes well with a sunflower. And I'll leave some of that purple there. And I can go back over that and make it thicker. And you can leave some of the outlines there in purple if you wanted to. And just kind of work that in there. And you can shape some of the leaves a bit now when you cut in some of that color. And so that's a real simple sunflower painting, and it's an acrylic. And I hope that it is simple. I get told my beginner lessons are too difficult, but I hope this one is doable. And you know, you could go back in with some of this dark purple and some cobalt and really put in some darker values in the center. In right, you know, on that side that's kind of more closer up to you, it will just bring it, kind of tuck that center in a little further when you put a little bit of darkness around the edge. And I think for a beginner lesson, I think I better stop. So this will go up on Patreon, and I'll leave it on Bold Strokes so that you guys can watch it whenever. And I hope for all you acrylic painters that you enjoy this little demo. And I will learn how to do Facebook Lives and do more of them, because it's a good way to get stuff onto the Bold Strokes page for you guys to see. So thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to our next lesson.